All right. Well, let's get cooking. Hello, YouTube. Welcome, welcome. Let me pop you fine people up in chat, too, from Rumble. And we'll be good to go. There we are. Cool. Oh, is that? Okay, that is the right one. We're good. Let's close all this business that we don't need up here. All right. Let me see if I have anything tagged first. I might, from over the weekend. Oh yeah, Keir Starmer's gone. Bye! Bon voyage! You big baby.
And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job.
Oh yeah?
Being the best
Being a jagoff?
husband I can to my fantastic wife, Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad.
More bad than good, right?
And being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much. And when I leave the biggest job...
Bye. So who's gonna step in here? Who's gonna... What's next? What's next for the island across the sea? Meet the most recent man accused of threatening to assassinate Trump. Oh, great.
It's independent journalist Andy Ngo. I've exclusively obtained the videos that were used by federal prosecutors in North Carolina to charge a man with making threats to kill President Trump. You can watch the uncensored video and read more about the case at my Substack, ngocomment.com.
So like I'm saying, Donald Trump, I'm going to kill you. My name, Christopher Carnes, 3/18/1993. Donald J. Trump, I'm going to kill you. And I got to do what I got to do to get in front of a judge so that way the judge can figure out what the is going on. I know exactly what I'm saying. Charge me with a terroristic threat can act. I'm good.
Yeah, I think.
Well, okay then.
Got no in my car for real,
If you say so.
right? You know what this consists of? This PVC blaster here? You know what this consists of right here? This PVC
I don't know. Tell me, sir.
blaster.
Let me guess. It's a blaster?
Do you know what this consists of?
A PVC blaster?
You know how much pressure that a CBC pipe like this can hold?
How much pressure?
Seal. You know what a do when he know he ain't crazy and he got his kids? I want to show you something of how sick this is, how long this is.
You like them thick and long, do you?
I
It would explain that tongue piercing.
told you, Donald Trump, I'm not that person for bluff calling. So now that I know that the government know that I actually really have a live in my car, you say, well, it ain't live yet.
Wait, was that a dildo? Yeah, it definitely looks... May as well be a dong.
In my car. You say, well, it ain't live yet. I say, it ain't. I say, okay. I said, well, you around and come find out.
Please subscribe to support my work. Thank you.
Well then, that was interesting. I guess they got him. Florida man. He's back at it again. That Florida man. Allegedly, this time, tried to steal a medical helicopter after crashing on the I-75, telling police that he had seen the Antichrist. I don't know, maybe he did. This is Florida. Oh, Gavin Newsom stuff, yeah. Okay, yeah, we definitely got to check some of this out. Gavin Newsom's wife was laundering herself so much money from her NGO that she was actually in the top 5% for pay for all charities in the entire nation. What is her charity for again?
Josh,
we'll check that out next.
Great to see you. So what made you look into Newsom's wife in the first place, and what did you find?
Gee, I don't know. Probably the fact that they're dirty as hell.
Well, there are just always a lot of questions that seem to be swirling around the Newsoms, and their finances have been for years. And so I thought, this is a man who clearly is going to be running for president. This is worth looking at, what their finances are, what the shape of them are. And so when I had a look at Jennifer Newsom's charity, I found that she was paying herself since 2012 $3.7 million. This is a lot of money when you look at the amount that the charity brings in. It's sort of 1 to 1.7 million a year, and she's paying up to a third of that to herself and her own company, $300,000 a year. Now that is, I did a bit of data analysis looking at what charities that size usually pay their executives, and she was in the top 5% of all charities in the nation for pay.
So DOJ, of course, doesn't comment on the specifics of this. We've really only heard from Gavin Newsom claiming this investigation is targeting them, even though, as we mentioned, it started in 2022 in his orbit. Do you think that the charity is the reason DOJ might be investigating her?
There's a whole bunch of reasons, potentially. There are a lot of questions around their finances. So the charity could be one of them. Now, it is legal for a charity to pay whatever they want to their executives. But one of the issues they might be looking at is who are the donors to the charity that are financing that pay? What kind of
where did the money go?
Relationships do they have with the California government that Newsom is in charge of? There's also
where did the money come from? What did they get in return?
If you look at his income, and he's released at least, partly to journalists in closed-door viewing sessions, his
very friendly journalists
tax returns, and if you look at that, his income, it's about 1.2 to 1.4 million a year, and it just doesn't add up for all of his expenses. He's got massive mortgages, $625,000 in mortgage payments. He's got at least $1 million in living expenses, and the two just don't add up. I would be interested in that if I were an IRS investigator. One other thing to look at here is the way that his property transactions are structured lead to a lot of questions. When he bought his $3.7 million Sacramento estate, it was done through an LLC, but that LLC doesn't seem to have appeared on his tax returns. There's all kind of questions of why he would do it that way, and he hasn't answered those satisfactorily. So if I'm IRS, I'm looking at that too, thinking maybe there's an issue here. We've yet to see what the actual details are, of course.
Well, I'm sure we will learn more about this in the future. But before I let you go, it's been announced that you're going to CBS. Congratulations. Of course, there's a lot of changes happening over at CBS. Scott Pelley was fired. What are you thinking?
Well, is that it on Newsom?
So I'm very excited to
investigate.
I don't care about you joining CBS. Just tell me more about Newsom being a scumbag. Oh, boo, it's being a stink ass. Hate when Twitter does that.
To see you. Well, we will certainly.
Instances where Gavin Newsom.
On Monday.
There's a lot more instances where Gavin Newsom is sending money to his wife. If you take a look here, Gavin Newsom created an office for his wife and then laundered $5 million from taxpayers to the office of the First Lady, which is his wife. Now, if we go...
I want to know more about that. Maybe we'll see what we can find.
Down here, Jennifer Newsom funneled nearly $4 million to herself from her nonprofit, funded by Gavin Newsom's donors. And here's the details of that. She took
How did that work?
$1.8 million in salary.
her nonprofit, The Representation Project, oh how gay, is funded in large part by Gavin Newsom's political donors and cronies and friends, back-scratching buddies. Jennifer Newsom has taken, nearly $2 million in salary. Since when? I don't know. I don't know over what time period that is, but she sent $2.1 million more to her production company. Oh, she has a production company. Of course she does. Girls Club Entertainment, funneled from the from the fucking nonprofit. Wow. Textbook money laundering.
She sent $2.1 million more to her production.
You just shuffle the money around. Hope no one gives enough of a shit to tell on you, and just keep everyone, keep the palms greased and make sure everyone's nice and happy.
Company funneled from the nonprofit. This is very clearly money laundering. And if we go down here, there's more to this. Gavin Newsom caught taking bribes. He even laundered $1 million of this money to his wife's, Jennifer Newsom's, NGO. And how he did that, what it was for, was there was a casino. They wanted to block a rival casino's project. So what they did was they made two $500,000 payments, but they didn't pay anyone directly. Instead, Gavin Newsom sent that money to his wife's NGO, and here are the details. The donations were
how the fuck did that even
explicitly requested
what
by Gavin Newsom to his wife Jennifer Newsom's California's NGO, her charity. Both payments were laundered to that charity. These people need to go to prison.
Dude. Okay,
Josh, great to see.
I want to know more about that. Where do I find that? Wall Street Apes, June 19th. Newsom caught taking bribes. See if that'll pull it up. There we go. 3 examples of Gavin Newsom taking bribes and then doing favors. Blue Shield, like Blue Cross Blue Shield, gave a $20 million donation in September 2020. A few months later, yeah, it's Blue Cross Blue Shield, Gavin Newsom awarded the insurer a $15 million no-bid contract. I mean, they must have gotten something else on top of that too, because why would you pay $20 million to get $15 million? But still, Kaiser Foundation gave $10 million to the COVID-19 Response Fund in December 2020. Then by 2022, Gavin Newsom was signing off on another no-bid contract for Kaiser to manage Medi-Cal. How much was that one for? Doesn't say. Number 3, Tribe gave $500,000 in April 2024, just months before Gavin Newsom's office urged federal officials to reject a rival casino project. The same Tribe gave another $500,000 in April of 2025, about a month before California sued to block the rivals project. Casino donations is especially bad because he laundered the money into his wife's NGO. That's the crazy part. Really, the truly crazy part. Like, what the fuck?
Fact check these because they say they're fake, so let's go ahead and do.
Blue Shield gave a $20 million donation in September of 2020. A few months later, Newsom awarded the insurer a $15 million no-bid contract. Here's another one. Kaiser Foundation gave $10 million to the COVID-19 Response Fund in December 2020. Then, by 2022, Newsom was signing off on another no-bid contract for Kaiser to manage Medi-Cal. How about one more? A Tribe gave $500,000 in April of 2024, just months before Newsom's office urged federal officials to reject a rival casino project. The same Tribe gave another $500,000 in April to Tribes. He takes subscriptions.
Yeah.
Please like, comment, and subscribe.
All right, everyone always wants to fact check these because they say they're fake, so let's go ahead and do that. Blue Shield's $20 million donation for a $15 million no-bid contract. In January 2020, Blue Shield pledged $20 million to Gavin Newsom's homeless fund, and in return, they received a $15 million no-bid contract. Sounds like fraud. All right, Kaiser Foundation.
I mean, you're gonna have to do a little better than paying $20 million to make $15 million, but
$10 million to their COVID fund.
Whatever.
For a Medi-Cal no-bid expansion. Let's take a look. Kaiser Permanente donated to COVID-19 efforts, including $10 million to a COVID-19 response fund for Newsom.
So what did he get? They donated to the COVID efforts. Okay. What happened? Yeah, it doesn't mention how much it was. Let me see if Grok knows. What can you tell me about the Kaiser Medi-Cal contract? How much was it for? Let's see. Did I already get it? No. Should have an answer here in a second. Speaking of, well, what we're doing right now. Boy, I got some exciting stuff I've been building for all of us, for PSB, or whatever we're going to end up becoming, maybe, one day. And for all you guys. Since we're on the topic anyway. Hold on, how many we got tuned in right now? What are we sitting at? Okay, 150 plus, I don't know, 40 on YouTube maybe? 30? Why not? Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit now. So how many of you out there currently use AI in some format, whether coding or otherwise, or just regular chat like Grok, whether Grok or ChatGPT, Claude, or, I mean, there's others, but I mean, I guess those are kind of the main ones. Gemini, there's Google. How many of you make use of it in just raise your hand and say me if you use it at all. And preferably say which one you use. Whether Grok or Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude or multiple. Oh, Copilot. I always forget about Copilot. But Copilot, don't they let you use, like, I've never actually tried Copilot. Don't they, isn't it basically like like they let you choose other companies' models too? Like they let you use Claude and stuff like that? Okay, answers rolling in. Good. We'll wait. If you haven't, I would encourage giving it a shot for research. It's fantastic for going through, well, stuff like this, like court cases and large document dumps. Like, well, I mean, anything involving a large amount of data or a lot of information generally. If there's like a currently breaking story, Grok is actually especially good at this because it directly integrates with X, which the other platforms kind of don't. Well, Claude definitely doesn't. I don't know if ChatGPT can search X or not. Claude will not do it. Not natively. I bet I could probably find a way to make it work, but Grok is great because it has like a constant stream of fresh, up-to-date info. Granted, a lot of it's kind of garbage, but it does a fair, decent job of kind of picking through the shit and letting you know, like, the latest of you know, what's going on with something. Great for stuff like this. Let's see if it actually hit us with an answer. And then I'll get to what I was gonna talk about. The reason I asked you guys the question. Let's see. Oh boy, pretty extensive answer. Just give me the final rundown, man. There is no single fixed dollar amount or lump sum contract, but how is that even possible? It's not structured like a construction or procurement contract with a set price. Oh, wow. So it's like an open-ended kind of, depends on like how much business they do, basically, or something. DHCS pays Kaiser a monthly capitation rate, a fixed member per month payment for each enrolled member. So let's can you roughly estimate as accurately as you can how much they will likely take in from this? Let's see what we get here. See if it can give us a decent guess. That is just in and of itself pretty interesting that this wasn't like a fixed amount kind of contract, or could end up being, you know, who knows how much. Rough. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? If that's even remotely accurate, that is absolutely a huge deal. That is crazy. So Kaiser gave $10 million to the COVID-19 Response Fund. Rough estimate. Wow, around $6.5 to $8.5 billion per year for Kaiser's annual capitation revenue from the Medi-Cal contract. Granted, that's revenue, that's not profit, but I guarantee you just about whatever, I'm sure whatever profit they're taking in is going to be a lot more than 10 million bucks off of, you know, between 6 and 8 billion in revenue. in what, a year, per year, by the way. And of course that is assuming that this is accurate, which it may not be. And in fact, let's double check that with Claude. Tell me about California's contract with Kaiser running, what was it? Medi-Cal. Under Gavin Newsom. How much money is Kaiser taking in as a result of this contract? If the exact figure is not known, estimate with the best degree of accuracy possible. See if we get a similar answer. Do 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 do. Okay, there we go. Hey, look at that. So Grok was about on point. $5 to $7 billion per year, roughly 28 to 37 billion over the 5-year term of the contract, 2024 to 2028. Yeah. Sketchy. Well, anyway, point of me asking the question, how much AI you guys are using, whether you're using it for digging through news or not, whatever platform you use. So I think I might have mentioned in passing a little bit, not too long ago, that I was considering redoing some things with PSB, perhaps re-envisioning the entire thing in a lot of ways. And boy, have I. I've got quite a concept going. I don't want to spill too much quite yet, but you will see if you go to the website that it's different. The old one's gone. I've archived it, still have it, have all the data, but that is currently a placeholder while I develop what's coming, which is pretty far along already. And the gist of it, or at least a part of it, is I figured out a pretty clever way to, well, have basically a system that allows all of you, everyone, to collaborate on investigations into topics like, I don't know, the Epstein files, or say the corruption in California, or just healthcare generally, the fraud. It's actually going to be one of the first major cases that we'll have people focus on. But it'll allow people to engage in collaborative investigative work that is empowered by AI, that lets you guys use either my self-hosted AI on my machine here, which it's not like ChatGPT quality, but it'll be more or less free. Or ideally, and this is the clever part, the system will allow you to use whatever AI system you want and have it integrate directly with my system. So you can basically tell your AI, whether it's Grok or ChatGPT or whatever, you can dig through something, say you stumble on a finding, you can say, hey, submit this finding to the PSB system, and it'll know what to do, and it'll send it off to our system in a structured format with the claim, evidence, all supporting facts, supporting evidence, sources, which AI is very good at putting together. Like, it's fantastic at like if you have like an inkling about something and you want to kind of chase down all the various rabbit holes you have to go down to find supporting documents and evidence, it's fantastic at that. It's very good. as long as you can kind of point it in the right direction. But it's already pretty far along, and it's pretty fast. It's really interesting what I've been able to build so far already. And it's going to start out tied to a Discord server, which is built and has my little AI thing tied into it, including moderation. It's got AI moderation and everything. The whole system is also tied to the website, which it'll basically be like a live, like a living, updated in real time news outlet, news platform, or intelligence service, more like, that is populated like entirely by work that just regular people are doing, out investigating stuff. So, I'm going to have more to show off soon, but the Discord's pretty much ready, and I'm going to start getting some initial test users in pretty soon to start really kind of testing the systems out and seeing how they do. It's got a pretty extensive, rather complicated pipeline for processing evidence and checking it and ensuring, you know, credibility and interesting. It's really it's way too complex to get into now, but it's some pretty interesting stuff. So we'll see where it goes. May not be up everybody's alley, but you know what? That's okay. Sorry if it's not yours, but that's where we're going. So if you don't like it, cheers to you. But I'm more interested in trying to build exciting things and flow with the river rather than trying to fight against it. There's really this is where the world's going at this point. So I'm going to make the best of it and try to make an impact the best I can. You're welcome to hate on it if you wish, but you'll see. You'll see how it goes. Think you might be surprised. All right, let me see if I have more piled up here. I think I might. It's also tied into the broadcast too, by the way. It'll have a system that, I mean, it's obviously not going to control what hosts are saying or anything, but it will offer up, you know, relevant, pertinent material as it's happening in real time based on what people are talking about in Discord, what people are talking about on X, and what people are talking about in live chat. So anytime you guys are talking about stuff in live chat, it'll be sifting through, you know, links that you drop and, you know, checking to see if they're up to date in real time and relevant. You know, make sure it's not some stupid like fashion article or some stupid shit like that. And then it'll feed it into a like a dashboard for hosts. And also, call-in system is in the works too, to get Discord implemented with a like an easy to use system for hosts to like pull up callers from Discord and manage it all on their own, and you know, just clicking a button basically. And some other interesting. I haven't really investigated possibilities yet, but maybe some other stuff like if someone does like a rant on Rumble, is that what they call the little paid, like what's the YouTube alternative? Super chat, right? Like popping up an alert for a host of a super chat rolls in, something like that. That should actually be relatively simple to build. So no, it's not all just cold AI stuff. It's there's many pieces here in the works. So I think yeah, that's kind of the idea. Mega Mama says I think it'll help with the news part of the channel. It's a big deal, like being able to feed fresh material. You can't, especially if you're a solo host, it's kind of difficult to do on your own. And having a system that kind of automates the tedious parts of that, I think is going to go a long way to bringing some quality stuff back, along with call-ins and getting more person to person and audience interaction kind of back into the swing of things. So you can hate all you want on what I'm trying to build. I saw you out there, all you crapping on it. Don't worry, I'm gonna prove you wrong. It's gonna be really neat. I'm very, very excited about it so far. I'm only maybe a week in and already very far along. The the live updated site currently looks like a newspaper. It's really neat. And I'm going to find an interesting way to kind of integrate the broadcast too. On the topic of Pilled, yeah, I may. If they do 24/7 now, I may consider going there as a part of the whole thing. I don't know. I don't want to say no necessarily. I'm not going to say yes either. Rumble's going reasonably well so far, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to rule it out, but I mean, we may actually go in the direction of becoming a video platform of sorts ourselves. So who knows? Who knows what I'm going to end up building here, you guys? I have no idea. I have quite a bit of capability at my fingertips now. So, who knows? Oh, an app is part of this too, by the way, like an actual phone app. That's oh, and a desktop app. I'm building that too. An entire replacement for Zoom that will function a lot better, and it'll be a lot more catered to what we do than Zoom is. Better video quality, and just better like customized function for hosts. It'll ideally, when it's fully built, integrate the whole system with Discord call-ins and the dashboard, and ideally even, you know, like a producer system. So if hosts want to have a kind of an assistant, a producer in the background, switching what's on screen, or even eventually have that handled by AI, which I think may actually be pretty easy. I did kind of, I got to test it, but I kind of play around with it some, but I think there might be a way to make that work. Just have it like automatically bring up an article a host is talking about and display it on screen, something like that. Maybe some other visual aids, like if they're not sharing the screen themselves at the time, it could cut in relevant footage if it deems it highly worthy or relevant. I don't know. Well, yeah, I got to test it and see what's even possible. We'll see. I think at a bare minimum, just having a simple, like, button-based interface for kind of changing what is on screen that that incorporates like smooth transitions rather than the stupid ass, like, you know, like every time in Zoom when you when you stop sharing your freaking screen or start sharing your screen, it does that, like, cuts to black and it puts that sharing screen thing up until finally the screen jumps up and you see what's being shared. It's so clunky and obnoxious. And I would love to be able to just do away with that. Just, which, I mean, it would go such a long way to just looking more professional, right? Just looking better, and not having that stupid black screen pop up every time you share a freaking screen. Being able to smoothly transition back and forth between a full camera view and a screen share like that, which I can do, but it's not easy to set up, and it's hard to walk people through that are not like tech inclined, because you have to like know how to set up OBS here and set up a custom scene display. I want to just streamline all that for hosts and have it so they can just push a button inside the app that they're using as the meeting app, and have it all just integrated in one spot. So, oh, and have it last longer than 24 hours, so we don't have to do stupid ass freaking reset every day. Wouldn't that be nice? It'd be nice for me. Oh, hello out there, Big Dog. Big Dog saying hello again. I see you out there on YouTube. Good to see you, sir. Hope you've been well. So yeah, I've got a lot of stuff cooking for PSB right now. And if anyone wants to throw money into the hat for the funds needed to continue building this stuff, I need at least $200 a month, just for that alone, because that's what the subscription for the coding, the monthly coding subscription costs for Claude and or whoever. And I use every freaking last drop of that. You better believe it. And then some. I actually go over and dip into my. I've been dipping into my personal, because I've been building so freaking much. Let me actually see where we're at right now. Let me ask it how far we are in the build. All right. Is Rumble decent about paying up on time? Yeah, they pay every day. Well, I mean, not every day, but like every month to the day. Like they is what I meant to say. Like they send the check like clockwork, like every month. I wish it was, electronic and automatic. I think they offer a PayPal payment option, but we were banned from PayPal. Which is something I'd also like to fix as a part of this whole reimagining of PSB process. Part of that will be a rebrand, because the name Patriot Soapbox is just cooked. It's fucking fried across the entire internet. I think it's just completely censored on Google, on X, still to this day. Like I don't think you can post an article from the website. It's done. And I wish it were different, but there's no getting around that. So we are going to rebrand as part of this. And where was I going with that? There's something else with that. What was it? What was I talking about before that? Rumble. Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, yeah, we're going to rebrand because that's been an issue. Okay. AI newsroom and host heads-up display, roughly 80% built. The kind of gamified reputation and like point system, which is like when you make a finding that ends up being verified as like a legit, like backed with hard evidence kind of finding, you get like a bump in your ratings, and there's like a system kind of based on that. Which ideally will be tied to money eventually, so that people can get paid for being right. Which wouldn't that be nice? Rather than just being paid for engagement, which is like retarded, because that just encourages like, well, what we see all over X right now, which is it's a slop fest. It's like disgusting. You can't wait. It's impossible to wade through. It's so bad at times. Platform infrastructure and ops. That's just like the build, like the coding side of things. Is pretty well built, pretty robust already. Discord community is about 70% built. Built enough that it's ready to start taking in test users at this point. Which I'll probably start with a handful of hosts. Just don't be offended if you don't get an invite. There's nothing personal. I'm gonna go for like 5 people that I'm confident will A, have the time to play around with it, and B, have the technical inclination to play with the more involved parts, like using your own AI and interfacing it with the system, which should actually be pretty easy, and most of you should be able to do it. Like if you have, okay, if you are on X and you have a blue check, even if you don't, I think you still have a reasonable amount of Grok access. You'll be able to do this, and they have this all integrated into Grok now. Let me show you where it is. Here it is, skills and connectors. So I'll basically be building a connector, which you can add a custom one. That's good. So this will 100% work with just the plain chat side of Grok. You don't even have to be able to use coding stuff, but you should use the coding side of things, because check this out. This is part of what kind of sparked the whole inspiration for this. So does everyone remember the Mayday mystery, which I've touched on over the years just as an interesting internet mystery? Everyone remember this? Like this 40+ year and counting bizarre, like encrypted puzzle, like secret, like encrypted messaging that's been going on in some obscure newspaper for 40 frickin' years. These really intricate, like, yeah, look at all this stuff. Just very, very strange messages that are posted as advertisements in this obscure local paper. Right, it's been going on for 40 frickin' years. No one's ever been able to figure out what the heck the deal is with it. So it's bothered. It's interested me for over a decade now. It's been a long-term obsession of mine. So I had my coding app. Give me a second. I had my coding app start looking at this and trying to solve it, which it does. Like it can do now. It's not even necessarily just a coding app anymore. Apps like Codex, you can use it for regular tasks too, non-coding centric tasks. It still writes a shitload of code for it. Like it built like dozens and dozens of scripts and internal tools that it uses to go through all of this vast amount of information, all these, like it analyzes all of these photos, all of the language in them, the math, the chessboards, all the, like, everything, and it catalogs all of that information, catalogs all of the comments from all of the users, all the findings that they made, catalogs all the research that it does on all of the various topics that are listed in it, like all of the the various historical references and mathematical references and all this stuff, catalogs all of that in a knowledge base, and then starts drawing connections between all of it, like just mapping connections. Like when one of these puzzles refers to one of the previous ones, it goes back and looks at it and looks at why did this puzzle refer to this previous one? Maybe like why there's clearly a reason. So what is the reason? And it'll start thinking and start just theorizing and testing the theory and it just does it at such a freaking rapid. It is bonkers how freaking quick it works. Like look at the system that it's built. It worked for 24 hours straight, nonstop, and I had to stop it because it would have kept going. Where'd my codex go? Back here. Oh, that's documentary stuff. Yeah, I have it doing that too. Helping on the film. So that was basically inspiration for this. Like if it can do that with a puzzle, with a large 40-year-long, massively intricate puzzle involving like encoded information that spans every piece of human knowledge ever, practically, it can do it for news, right? It can do it for, say, the Epstein files, right? It can do the same thing. Run through all the files, all the people, all the news stories, all the data, all the charts, all the contacts, the names, the businesses, all, everything. Map it all out and then start making connections, right? And that's what it did with where's the Mayday Mystery stuff? Where did I say that? Why do I not see that here? Oh, maybe I might have done it on my Mac. That's probably why. Yeah, that's why. Oh well, can't show it off here. But the amount of work that it did is staggering. Like just like the number of custom scripts that it built alone to be able to go through all of the data is like, it just blew my mind. And yeah, it absolutely made progress. I wouldn't say that it solved anything, but I stopped it after 24 hours because it ate my entire $200 limit, like that, or at least for the week. So it was more like a $50 limit, and at that point, I was satisfied that it was doing what I thought it would be able to do, and I pivoted to more fruitful endeavors, like building PSP related stuff, like taking that concept and building, like using it as inspiration for a system that does the same thing with the news. But yeah, it did. It absolutely was like, it built document after document of, like I instructed it to look for findings that no one had made before. Like go out and seek like major findings that no commenter has stumbled upon yet. Completely new stuff. And it went out and banged it out. Like it made multiple documents running through all the details, all the supporting evidence. Like it blew my freaking mind. No, it did not solve the 40-year-long puzzle. I wish it had, but it did make tangible progress on a number of them. I didn't expect it to solve it anyway. I don't think it is a solvable puzzle because it's private communications between people that don't want people to know what they're talking about for whatever reason. I don't think that you're gonna ever really be able to fully figure out exactly what's being said, but it did make some interesting discoveries, yeah. And I'm gonna turn it next on to like I think the initial cases I want to start with are the Epstein files. What do you call it? Fraud, like nationwide, like medical fraud and just public fraud, but especially like healthcare related. All the like Minnesota stuff, California. Might even break it down state by state, actually, because I think most people would be especially interested in what's local to them with that story, right? So I don't know how we'll do that. What was the other one I had? SPLC. The other one was SPLC, because that's shaping up to be a big case. I imagine that the documents will start to pour forth from that. And there will be a lot to go through, a lot of developments happening, documents to parse, and so on and so forth. I think that's a good kind of test case for how the system might work. Oh, and part of this, by the way, is user suggestions. I've already half built a system that will take suggestions for features or modifications of existing features from you guys, and we'll basically like run through them on a daily basis and pick out viable ones, and it'll send them to me in a summary for me to kind of check out and see if any of them are workable and that if we can implement. So a good part of this is, and you'll get credit for that too. I think it also built in a way to credit people for contributions to features for the platform, and it came up with all kinds of really interesting ideas for features on its own. I mean, I gave it a solid kind of initial seed for the idea, but a lot of the interesting little bits and pieces it's kind of come up with on its own. I'm most interested in testing out the ability for people to use their own AI of choice to interface with our system, and because like that just like multiplies capability by, well, I mean, it's really infinite potential. Like every single person added on is, brings whatever system they use with them and adds that capability into the whole. And and part of it is also, God, there's so many. I'm gonna stop because I know we got news to get to, and I don't want to give away too much. But Canadian Baconon says we should have an app for PSP. Yeah, that's coming too. That was the thing I was that I forgot to mention when I mentioned the rebrand. So yeah, we're going to rebrand because I think the name is just poisoned at this point. But yeah, the other part of that is going to be an app, a phone app, which will tie in, I think, in some interesting ways too. So yeah, I have a lot cooking, and if anyone wants to help, like if you happen to be, I don't think we really have any out there, but if you happen to be a hardcore coder, let me know. If you're into coding, could probably use help. I have no idea how that would work with someone working remotely, and yeah, I don't know, but at a bare minimum, you can send funds to me to cover the costs of my subscriptions. And there's more than just the AI subscription I'm going to need, by the way. There's other supporting odds and ends for back-end tooling for all the systems that are going to be needed to run this, which shouldn't be too much more than what we've already got, but like the server, the website, the server that hosts the website and the broadcast may need to be upgraded to like a better, next tier up, a slightly more powerful machine or something, depending on how things go. So at a bare minimum right now, though, I got to be able to keep funding the ability to code it. So if you want to throw money towards that, I would be much appreciative of that kindness. And I promise you it'll go a long way. Already has. I hope to be able to show off the Discord. I mean, I can pull it up right now, really. But I hope to be able to open it up to some more test users eventually, pretty soon, like within a week or so, depending on how quickly I can build out. Which may be pretty quick this week. I was set to work a job this week, which unfortunately fell through. Sucks for me financially because I needed the money big time. But now I have a free time to dump into this, so I'll be cracking away at it all week until at least the 30th or so. Which, by the way, we find out whether we're having a boy or a girl on the 30th. Yeah, aw. Sunny says, Discord makes me think of Tattered. I know, yeah. Yep. Hopefully Discord will let us exist again. If not, I'll be building an alternative for Discord too, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what we'll do then. But I will, fair warning, I will have the Discord relatively locked down. It will have auto moderation that is tied directly to Discord's terms of service. So if you violate Discord's terms of service, you're going to get hit. It's just a unfortunate fact of being able to exist there. So make sure you hold to the terms of service. Okay, it's pretty easy. So fair warning, you can't go. I don't know what even violates terms of service these days for Discord, but go avail yourself of what it says and make sure you don't do that. All right, give me a second. Let's get back to news. Oh, and hold on, since I mentioned it, let's pull up the Discord real quick. There it is. See, it's got the call-in, it's got the on-air, call-in queue, green room, hangout, watch party. Oh, watch party. That little bot can go away because I don't use that anymore. Bye-bye. Oh, here's some testing stuff. What is that testing? I think that's tied to the live chat, to the Rumble live chat. So like if you put out a relevant link, say that the host ends up then using, I think it'll like grant you points for that. So the system will be integrated between Rumble and Discord and whatever else we use. So like if you gain points for something you do on Rumble, tossing out a verified good link that ends up being used on air, you get a point for that. If you end up finding a like a unique contribution finding that ends up being integrated into the case base, the knowledge base on a given case, you get a point for that, or a number of points. whatever. I don't recall the ins and outs of exactly how the system works, but it's something along those lines. Breaking news. Live tip desk. So anyway, it's pretty built out. Show questions, which I believe will be linked directly to the host heads-up display. So they'll get questions, pop directly to them. Of course, people that abuse that system will be handled appropriately. So don't do that. We'll be figuring that out. It's going to be part of the whole testing process and whatnot. Anyway, point is, there's a lot of exciting. Well, here's some of the case stuff. How casework works. An investigation here is in a hot take with footnotes. It's a case, a long-lived file built around one central question, worked in the open until evidence answers it. We don't start from a verdict and go hunting for support. We start from a question and follow it wherever it leads, including to we were wrong. Or we don't know. That's also a possibility, which we ought to... I don't think you see enough of these days. I think everyone is like so cooked on taking a position one way or another, and for whatever reason, just like people won't say, I don't know. We really just don't know. We have no idea. Three rules govern everything. Inquiry is free, publication is earned, and no one is named except on the evidence. And that's specifically for like private individuals. It's speaking of like if a private individual is implicated in something, obviously we will not end up naming them until and unless evidence is A, super on point, and B, it's all approved through a human editor. At least for now. I haven't really decided the ins and outs of how that system will work, but legally speaking, it's there's stuff to wade through there. A lot, actually. So that may change, twist, modify a little bit. Who knows? It's going interesting places, though. All right, let me pop news back up now. See if I have anything else. We just did that. It's coding stuff. Okay, cool. Let's get back to news. Fresh pile, come on. Hello. Oh, hey, by the way, if you have a blue check on X, you should now have access to Grok Build, the coding app for Grok, which is actually quite decent. I was pleasantly surprised after testing it out. It's a little more advanced. I don't think they have a desktop app yet for this, though I believe it's in the works. But for now, if you're comfortable hunting around in a terminal, like so, it's really not that bad. It's just, I think people get scared away by all the, it looks like the Well, it looks like code. It's like you're coding. It's kind of intimidating to people, I guess. But it's not that bad. It's really not. It's pretty easy. There it is. If you do use it, if you do try it out, make sure you use the Composer 2.5 model. It's better than Grok build. Composer's excellent. It's very, very good. So if you've ever wanted to play with this stuff yourself and try coding something, just a simple website for your business or an app or whatever, if you're subscribed to X, you have this. And if you aren't using it, then, well, you're paying for something you're not using. All right, let's see Vance here. And to install that, I think if you just go to grok.com, they'll give you the command to install right here. It's different depending on whether you're on Windows or Mac. Yeah, that's for Windows. I think it'll automatically detect what system you're on, so all you got to do is just copy the little line of code there. Open up your terminal app on either Windows or Mac. Just search for terminal on Windows or Mac OS. It'll pop your app up, and just paste that in, hit enter, and you're good. Then to start it up, you just, after it's done installing, just type grok, hit enter, and you're in. It's all run by slash commands and just plain language. Just talk into it. Tell me about my computer. That's it. You can just tell it to build me an app to do so-and-so, or build me a website for my business, such and such, that does blah, blah, blah. If you have an old website that has some info that it can pull from as context, even better. Just link it to that and say, hey, build me a new website that doesn't suck. It'll do a pretty darn good job. As long as you're using Composer. Grok build is not that great, but I think even that'll still do a pretty darn good job. Definitely recommend playing with it. You can do some fascinating stuff, whether code or otherwise. You, like an interesting kind of experiment, a way of teaching yourself this stuff is download whatever coding harness app of choice, whether it's Grok Build or Codex or Claude Code. And anytime you have something you want to do on your computer, instead of doing it yourself, just try asking the bot to do it. Even if it's like practically silly, and it's just something that in the real world you would do yourself anyway. It's an interesting exercise to kind of like teach yourself what you can do, like what is possible to do with a system like this. It kind of helps you learn like how to make use of it. So like if you want to download a file on a specific topic or find a video, like a YouTube video on something, instead of going to YouTube and searching for it, just tell it to like open up my Chrome browser, go to YouTube and search for such and such video, pull it up and play it. And just it'll start kind of teaching you exactly how you can make use of this stuff. and you'll start to get pretty advanced pretty quick. You'll surprise yourself. Okay, let me see. Let's see, Vance. Vance reveals he told the Iranians they better expect President Trump to respond when they trash talk the U.S. during the negotiating process. Oh, have things gone shitty? I haven't been keeping up with this over the weekend, so.
What we told the Iranians yesterday is when you guys engage in what us millennials might call trash talk, you can't expect the President of the United States not to respond and not to correct the record. So when they say things that aren't true, the President is going to respond to it. I'm going to respond to it. Americans are going to respond to it. When they make threats that aren't rooted in reality, they have to accept that the President of the United States is actually going to set the record straight. That's all that happened. So yes, there was a little bit of threatening, there was a little bit of whining, but at the end of the day, the talks continued and we made great progress. What we told the Iranians yesterday is when you guys
Ilhan Omar facing massive scrutiny. Here we go. More fraud. Another piece of the fraud puzzle. Something I believe we ought to be working on.
Husband, Tim Mynett, once listed his net worth to be up to $30 million in 2024, and that caused a push for an investigation into the business holdings of the couple, but that ended up being a clerical mistake, according to the Congresswoman. Instead, a new filing has listed her assets between $20,000 and $125,000. Big difference. Mynett's net worth is the most staggering part of this, though, with a reported income between $200 and $1,000. And despite that low income, Mynett's company, Roselake Capital, reported income between $100,000 to $1 million. His defunct wine-based company reported around $5,000 in income of last year. The latest filing will no doubt add further scrutiny to Omar, with Republicans continuing to push for an investigation into her private holdings. An RNC spokesman told the New York Post this: voters see right through the corrupt lies of Ilhan Omar. Omar has spent her entire career covering up Democrat-enabled fraud that cost taxpayers billions, so it's no surprise that she would do the same for her husband. Omar's income controversy has only drawn further scrutiny, though, into all those fraud allegations across her home state of Minnesota. Carly.
All right. Doug Luzader, live for us in Washington. Doug, thank you.
Oh, geez. Christian preacher and his cameraman were attacked at Speaker's Corner in London yesterday.
Rude, that policeman. Well, they have to be when people aren't.
Quite a bit of blood.
Oh my God, they're putting up, what you call it? Tape. See, they're putting up tape.
Did he get stabbed, or?
Oh, Steve, I never saw it happen, did you? Rude, that.
Yes. Yikes. Tulsi, is this, I'm assuming this is older? Yeah, I think so. Whoa. Aerial footage shows aftermath of a train derailment in Illinois caused by powerful straight-line winds reaching 80 to 100 miles an hour. Yikes, dude. Moscow airports briefly closed after nearly 60 drones destroyed from Ukraine. Singing is asking, could it guide you to set up a bank account for online business? Oh, you betcha. Absolutely. Yep. He'll even do it for you, honestly, if you do it right. Ideally, you would do it yourself. Like you don't want to give it access to crucial secrets or passwords or anything like that. But yeah, it'll walk you through the whole process, like handhold you the entire way. Just ask it to do that. Tell it what kind of business you're in. Ask it what what bank and bank account service, whatever, would be ideal for your use case. Tell it to, ask follow-up questions if it needs more information from you, and it'll get you whatever you need. It'll shock you, man. That same process is more or less how I've built everything. You just ask it what kind of tooling you need to code a certain thing and how to set it up, and handhold it the entire way and walk me through the process, and or you're doing it. It'll come up with a marketing plan for your business too, like advertising. It'll come up with the ads, the plan for how and when to run them, and through what service, and why. It'll provide extensive reasoning on why something, a given choice, is the best choice. Somebody says, what if it invades your computer or devices? That's what concerns me, or maybe it already has. Well, at bare minimum, you could just use it through the web app, which will not have access to your computer. Just use it through the website. That won't have any access to your files at all. And you can even code that way too. I think you can code entirely through the cloud side of their website. You don't even have to build anything on your computer. It's more intuitive and easy if you do it on your machine itself, but there's also features for that called sandboxing that basically, it creates what it calls a sandbox on your system, which is like a play area where it will do all of its work, and it's not permitted, it is strictly forbidden from exiting that sandbox through a number of guardrails, which are getting better and better every day. So that is becoming less and less of a concern too. But ideally, you would not have highly sensitive information on your computer, whatever computer you put it on. Just store that on a separate drive or something, but I at this point, it doesn't concern me really. Personally, that's just me. But I don't have ridiculously sensitive stuff on the machine that I use for this. So you may differ. It kind of depends on your situation,
Truly Jewish? I don't.
What? No idea. UK British girls fed up with policing that protects Islamic migrants at their expense. Let's see.
Go on, you money! Yeah, you're being dispersed for the breach of the peace. Yeah, we get lots of money from you. Just don't swear and get moving.
Dude! Did he just bash that young lady with a baton? Or just bowl her over? Oh yeah, he just shut. Jeez, man. Woo. Damn, girl! Well, you kind of asked for that. Did you just get tased?
Hey, come on, G.
Hold up. Did he just tase her? Oh, he did! He did tase her, didn't he? Oh my gosh! Jeez, man. The hell is going on over there? Who's Andy Burnham? Is he the new guy? Is that who's stepping in Starmer's place? What is this? Yeah, guess so. Oh, look, another Weffer. How about that? All right, let's see. Let's look it up.
Almighty God, that I will be faithful and bear. I swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
He's not the Messiah, they said. What, in reference to the king, I guess?
So help us, his heirs and successors.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not the Messiah. Naughty boy. Okay then. Odd moment.
Change. I did talk.
Andy Burnham outlines his vision for Britain during his victory rally. This is a few days ago.
So what is that change? I did talk about the need to change Labour in this campaign, and we've got to now take this moment.
So how much worse is he going to be even than Starmer? Is he going to be worse? Let's see.
Answer the challenges that have been laid down. I did describe it last night as a last chance to change, and I think that's how people here kind of saw it when I was talking to them on the doorsteps, and they said, well, Andy, maybe we can give you our support this time, but you know it's not a blank check, it's not ongoing. You have to respond to what people here are saying. You have to do something to make life more affordable, to put more money in people's pockets, to give people more breathing space again so that they can have a better life. That's what people were saying, and we must respond to that. We need an economy that works for everybody, not a few in far off places from here, but an economy that works for people right here. We do need to bring down water bills, energy bills, rail fares, just as we've brought down bus fares in Greater Manchester to make life more affordable for people. We do need an end to trickle-down economics, which didn't trickle down very much at all to places like this. We want to see a new drive of reindustrialisation across the north of England and indeed the rest of the country, and big change in Whitehall if that is to happen. And I'm talking about public procurement. It's about time we started backing British business and British industry so that we can reindustrialise places like this. And yes, let's change the education system so that young people growing up here have clear paths into that new industry. No more an education system.
I mean, this all sounds nice and good. It's pretty vague and generic so far.
Dominated by the university route, but an education system that offers a path for everybody, academic and technical.
Platitudes.
in equal balance. That's what we need if we are to change this. And when I say change to public procurement, as a result of using the power of it, get more work placements for people, a guarantee of a work placement for every 16 to 18-year-old who wants one, the guarantee of an apprenticeship. These are the kind of changes that we need if we are to give hope to young people growing up in this part of the world. And yet, a change too from the Home Office. I heard on so many doorsteps people's concerns about the unfairness of the immigration system, that cut price approach to procurement that means areas like this can end up like HMO Britain. It's not fair that they think that they can just operate like that and not hear the call of people here, the decent people here, who always will do the right thing, the compassionate thing, but not when it's unfair in terms of the way places like this are treated. These are the calls that we've got to hear, and this is the change that we've got to bring. And I say it again, it is our last chance to change, but we're going to take it, aren't we? We are going to take that opportunity, and we are going to lay out a new path for Britain. The one thing, the best thing that we can say about last night is that there was a risk, if you like, that we would carry on seeing Britain and the politics of our country go down a path towards greater darkness and division, and ending up somewhere like the United States of America, where people don't talk to each other in the street if they vote different ways or in their workplace. We will not let that happen here. We will bring people back together. I said last night, I will be a member of Parliament for everybody, however they voted. I will work on a place first, not a party first basis, respecting how people voted. I know people who normally vote for the Conservatives, the Liberal Democrats, the Greens, perhaps voted Reform in May. I know they gave me their votes to give me that last chance to do something, and I respect them for doing that, and I will always then work in the way that shows how much I value what they did. And that's the kind of change we need to, a change in our politics to make it work again for people. You know, I did say it last night and I mean it. The word Makerfield in the future must be known as a byword for the change that came to British politics. This is the moment. We've been on a path for 40 years that simply hasn't worked for people and places in this part of the world, and this now is the change moment. We have an opportunity to turn the tide, to make the country feel like it's working again, to make people see that politics can make a positive difference, to make people feel hope again. That is the main thing I think we need in this country right now, for people to feel a sense of hope, that there is something better to work towards on the horizon. This election result has opened up the possibility that we can now move forward together towards that future. And that's what I'm going to do. I will work relentlessly to make what the people have voted for here happen. And we will do that together, won't we? We will take the energy of this campaign and we will bring it forward into changing British politics for the better, and to make this part of the world, if you like, the test, the Makerfield test at the heart of British politics. When policies come forward, if they don't work for people here, for the places of this constituency, if they don't lift people up, then they shouldn't happen at all. We've not had a country run on that basis before. Places like this have often been an afterthought. Westminster has looked past the communities of this constituency. Well, no more. That changes today.
Well, we'll see, won't we, buddy? Yeah, I don't think it's going to go that way. No.
Andy Burnham, and I demand.
Fucking AI, man. All right. Well, I guess out with the old, in with the new. Or is it? Oh, more Newsom stuff. Let's hear it.
California decided to raise your taxes. But here's one thing that really stood out to me. Do you remember the Stop Nick Shirley Act? There's a group called Shirla that is lobbying the government and pushing that bill to prevent journalists from independently reporting on immigration support services. Well, guess what they get in the budget? They get $5 million.
There's another great one.
I decided to go back and look into what's happened over the last few years. Shirla has gotten $40 million in
I just about guarantee you that he used AI to do this.
your taxpayer funds to lobby the government. They've also somehow were a voting center. And guess where they spend most of their
We could be doing this.
time doing a lot of their work? Oh, Los Angeles. I wonder if there was an election that went on in Los Angeles. They got a little bit weird when it comes to the data.
Yeah, this is the loop. Shirla donates to Newsom's campaign, and in fact, they were one of the top contributors to his campaign when he was defending against the recall efforts. I don't know how this is legal, but he essentially gives these NGOs millions of dollars, and then they donate back to his campaign.
See, this is another like shining use case for group investigative efforts empowered by AI that we could be taking part in, could be doing. Like, these systems are insanely good at digging through cases like this and pattern matching with other instances in the data that fit the mold. It's great at digging through just copious amounts of law, like the insane piles and page after page after page after page of legal gobbledygook. It's excellent at understanding that stuff, far better than any human ever could. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
And it is so dirty and so corrupt, but somehow legal.
One thing that's understated is how much money the Shirla NGO actually receives. If you look here, Shirla is one of the organizations that is funding protests and law firms for illegal immigrants. Shirla has received over $115 million, and their website is full of protest photos. And if you look down here, look at this. We have people calling out Gavin Newsom for funding the protests. These are paid protests. The state spent over $100 million of taxpayer money on this NGO, Shirla, to go out and do paid protesting for left-wing advocacy. People are very upset about that. And if we go down here again to the No Kings protest organizers that are always taking place in America, who's one of the organizers?
That entire post was written by AI.
Here we go again, it's Shirla. Gavin Newsom is funding the organized protests in America. And not only is he funding the organized protests in America, but the NGO that he's sending the $100 million plus to is then laundering that money back to him as campaign donations, millions of dollars.
Yep. It's old. All right. Let me get back here. Oh, dang it. Oh, well, it's gone.
All right, this is what country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. Been about putting the country I love first.
Excellent. U.S. Treasury grants Iran a temporary license, effectively waiving sanctions, allowing the sale of Iranian oil until August 21st. So I guess things are continuing to move forward.
Completed his more than 16.
President Trump said repairs to the now peeling lining at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool will begin immediately, blaming the damage on vandalism.
Just 2 weeks after President Trump completed his more than $16 million renovation of the iconic reflecting pool, he now says it will need to be drained and repaired immediately. Last week,
again, yeah, thanks, algae people.
Pieces of that new coating that the president applied to describe as an American flag blue color began peeling off. Trump now claims that vandalism is to blame, but he's provided no evidence to prove it. At least one person has been arrested. Former Olympic canoeist David Hearn tells ABC.
Yeah, I mean, vandalism clearly took place, but I do kind of wonder about the quality of the work that was done here, to be honest. Like, it kind of sounds like it was already peeling a little bit on its own. So, yeah.
Taxpayer-funded renovation has been plagued with issues. Within days of reopening this month, the pool's color went from blue to an algae-clouded green.
Oh, now we all know why that happened. Okay, that was the psychos dumping algae.
Work crews have been
weirdos
combating the algae with vacuum pumps and strainers, even pouring hydrogen peroxide directly into the water. The company that applied the coating says it identified some areas of the pool that require repairs and confirmed that it will need to be drained. That company, along with a water purification business that's owned by a longtime donor to President Trump, bypassed the traditional bidding process that's typically used to do work on national parks, guys.
And that could have been part of the problem right there. All right, Elizabeth, thanks to you.
Yeah, read my mind.
Sounds like it was a no-bid contract, which I think is just silly. Ought to not be a thing. Just generally speaking, happens way too often. Oh, here's more of this guy getting attacked in London.
Call me, your Quran called me a junkie and the worst of the creature. Why is that?
Give me one proof.
Why is that?
What do you mean, why is that? You cannot.
Why your Quran called me? Your Quran called me a junkie and the
answer why
best
you
of
give proof. What's the proof? Then I will answer why.
Listen.
In Psalm 82:6.
Again, I will go again to Boko Haram.
I will answer why.
Are the Boko Haram Muslims?
Boko Haram doesn't matter.
No, it does.
Bad Muslims
No,
are good Muslims.
What do you mean bad Muslims are good Muslims?
Oh, you think all Muslims are good Muslims?
Bro, so
you think
bro,
following religion.
So if you don't have a conversation,
No idea. Train wreck. Trump warns 10-year prison sentence for vandalism of federal monuments will be fully enforced. Good. Shit's disgusting. Oh boy. Netanyahu with this frickin' thing.
But I ask you,
flying right in the
Jews
face.
of America,
right in the face of the Trump admin. Like, brazenly so.
and the Jews of the diaspora, to do one thing: stand up. Don't cower. Don't be afraid. Fight back, because people will only respect us if we respect ourselves. And when they level lies at us, throw back the truth and do it standing up. Stand up for the truth. Stand up for Israel. Stand up for the Jewish people. Stand up for the Jewish future. Thank you all. Thank you.
Cracks are starting to show, man. What? One-armed Gambino mobster behind $1.7 million Chanel heist. What? What? Gangster has been credited with pulling off a spectacular $1.7 million burglary of the Chanel boutique in Manhattan. When? Took place nearly 2 years ago. Stole hundreds of items worth $1,776,000. It's supposed to be $700 from Chanel's flagship store during a well-planned 3-hour caper. Man, you don't hardly ever hear about stuff like this anymore. That's crazy. One-armed. Did he appear on surveillance with his one arm? What a crazy story.
Diplomat involved in the talks told Fox.
All right, let's see. Advance in Iran.
Map for technical talks over the next 60 days. A U.S. diplomat involved in the talks told Fox News some of the discussion was focused on clarifying the confusing messaging on the Strait of Hormuz to ensure it will remain open, adding that robust discussions on all elements of the nuclear deal are ongoing. This morning, Vice President J.D. Vance said the U.S. along with Qatar will have some oversight over the unfrozen Iranian funds and that some could go to purchasing U.S. farm goods. He also made a major announcement on access to Iran's nuclear program.
This is probably what we're most excited about as Americans. The Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program in Iran. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. That's exactly what we asked to happen.
The Iranians also acknowledged major progress in the talks, adding that a deconfliction cell for Lebanon will be the first real test of the understanding. Israel and Hezbollah did not trade fire on Sunday for the first time since March 2nd, according to the UN.
All right. Well, we are at the top of the hour here. So, I'm going to call it there. Let me stop my share. I think Mr. Fedora is in. Yes, he is. How you doing, sir? There we go.
Yeah, once I find my box, I'm good.
Yeah. Happens to the best of us, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been using one or two screens is a little bit difficult sometimes.
Yeah, it can get kind of hairy. Yeah. All right. Well, say again?
I said it's great to hear what you're doing with the channel.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Fun stuff.
Yep.
Well, I will let you get to your show, sir.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Have a great day.
I will do. Yep. Have a good one, folks. And I will see you maybe later tonight. I think I might be covering for someone, so we'll see. Bye-bye.
Hey.
All right, YouTube. Well, that's it. A lot of exciting stuff going on, so get pumped. And if you happen to be interested in testing out some of the fun stuff that we're building, well, let me know soon. I'll be sending out early invites, I think, within the next few days. So I'll be letting people know. I'll let you know. Bye-bye. See you next time.